York City Mayor Eric Adams is coming to the podium very shortly, we are told. Let's go ahead and listen in.
Experienced a 4.8 magnitude earthquake. While we are still assessing the impact of this incident, we currently do not have reports of major impacts at this time. Our teams moved quickly to coordinate across city and state agencies and make sure that New Yorkers were safe. We've brought together key leaders to provide people with more information about the earthquake and ongoing efforts. So we're joined today by Mayor Eric Adams, Chief Advisor to the Mayor Ingrid Lewis-Martin, Chief of Staff Camille Joseph Varlick, Emergency Management Commissioner Zach Iskel, Police Department Commissioner Edward Caban, and senior members of the NYPD leadership, FDNY Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh, Public Schools Chancellor David Banks, Department of Buildings Commissioner Jimmy Otto, Department of Sanitation Commissioner Jessica Tisch, Department of Transportation Commissioner Yadanis Rodriguez, Department of Environmental Protection Commissioner Ray Agarwal, Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs Commissioner Manny Castro, Housing Preservation and Development Commissioner Adolfo Carrion, Mayor's Office of Community Affairs Commissioner Fred Kreisman, New York City Health and Hospital Senior Vice President and Chief Quality Officer Dr. Eric Way, NYCHA Executive VP of Operations Support Services Keith Grossman, MTA CEO Jano Lieber, Con Ed President Matt Ketschke. So first, I'd like to introduce Mayor Adams.
Thanks so much, Dean Levy, and I'm sure there are many questions that need to be answered. All of us felt in some way or another the earthquake that hit our city around 10:23 a.m. We felt the impact of this 4.7 magnitude earthquake. The epicenter was in Lebanon, New Jersey, about 50 miles from New York City. And as you know, this is a developing situation where you're always concerned about aftershocks after an earthquake. But New Yorkers should go about their normal day. First responders are working to make sure the city's safe. And one thing we do so well in our city is bring together all of the agencies that are involved and our partners and other entities. Everything from the MTA to the Department of Buildings, the parents who are concerned about their school children. Chancellor Banks would be here to report on that, but we say over and over again, the safest place for our students, we believe, will continue to be in school. At this point, we do not have any reports of major impacts to our infrastructure or injuries. But of course, we're still assessing the situation and we'll continue to update the public. We're in touch with the White House, the governor's office, and local elected officials. And I encourage New Yorkers to check on their loved ones to make sure that they are fine, not only from the infrastructure damage, but this could be a traumatic moment for individuals going through an earthquake. And if you feel an aftershock, drop to the floor, cover your head and neck, and take cover under a solid piece of furniture next to an interior wall or in a doorway. And so I want to thank the emergency staff and first responders for their work to keep New Yorkers safe. Earthquakes don't happen every day in New York. So this can be extremely traumatic. The number of texts, calls, and inquiries that people sent out to not only our administration, but to family members checking on them. We know how this can impact you. But we're ready for the unexpected. This is New York City, and we respond accordingly. We will continue to update New Yorkers as we get more information. And I would now turn it over to Commissioner Iskel.
Great. Thank you, sir. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you to my colleagues for their quick and speedy response to this. I'm pleased to report that there are currently no major impacts or safety events related to this earthquake. We're asking all New Yorkers to call 311 to report damage or any issues that you're having. Also, if you have any need for disaster assistance due to damage or anything like that, please call 311. That is the best place to refer those needs. If you have a life safety issue, please use and call 911 immediately, but preserve 911 for those life safety events. The team acted immediately. We convened our emergency response teams and issued guidance to the public. The likelihood of aftershocks remain low, but we do remain vigilant, and we ask all New Yorkers to remain vigilant as well. We activated our protocols for this earthquake. We immediately started coordinating with all city, state, federal, and our utility partners. Public notifications were sent out both by Notify NYC and our wireless emergency alert system. You can hear some of the phone buzzings and delays from that have been issued. As soon as it happened, we convened here at New York City Emergency Management in order to be able to send out guidance. We activated, as soon as it happened, we convened here at NYSEM to send out our guidance for what happens during an earthquake, including on the possibility of aftershocks. We contacted our City Hall and agency commissioners, as well as all of our partners at the federal and state level. That also includes all of our utility partners, our transportation partners at the MTA, Port Authority, and the airports. While there is a low likelihood that there will be aftershocks, we always want to be on the safe side. So if you are outside during an aftershock, please move to an open area away from buildings, trees, and power lines. If you are driving, pull over to a safe location. We're asking people to check in on their relatives, on their loved ones, neighbors, especially the children and their other individuals. I think that this is also an incredible time just to remind us all to make sure that we're prepared. So if you are a New Yorker, if you're visiting New York, we encourage you to sign up for Notify NYC. This is available in 14 languages, including American Sign Language, over 1 million subscribers. You can sign up by calling 311. You can call up by downloading the app or by going to nyc.gov/notify. We also encourage people to make sure that they have an emergency kit and to make sure that they know the guidance for earthquakes, which, as the mayor said, to drop, cover, and to get under furniture, sturdy furniture, or in a doorway to make sure that you are safe. Please also make sure that you're checking your utilities, that you know how to turn them on and off, especially if you are a property owner. With that said, who am I turning it over to?
Chancellor Banks.
Chancellor Banks. I'll turn it over to Chancellor Banks for an update on the schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. So the earthquake was felt across the entire city and across many of our schools across all 5 boroughs. In fact, I was at LaGuardia High School at an event this morning when the earthquake hit. I did not personally feel it, but many people in the room felt it. So first and foremost, what's most important to understand is we want to emphasize that we've received no reports of any injury to staff or students. And that's the most important thing, and safety is our top priority in ensuring that everyone is safe in our schools. Immediately following the earthquake, our teams, both within New York City Public Schools and across the city, immediately jumped into action. We've been in close and constant communication with City Hall, the Office of Emergency Management, School Construction Authority, and other agencies as well. So at this moment, there is no indication that any of our buildings were compromised. And our facility staff at the School Construction Authority are quickly and thoroughly inspecting buildings to ensure safety. And out of an abundance of caution, we've assembled all of our building response teams as well. So we've instructed all of our school principals to continue operations and dismissal as normal. We ask the school staff and families to remain calm and to model that for all of our students, all of our children. Parents do not need to pick up their child early as a result of today's earthquake. Additionally, all after-school programs will continue as planned. If conditions change, our schools will communicate directly with families. We also will post updates on our social media pages, which can be found at NYC Schools. I want to thank all of our school staff and our facility staff for keeping our students safe during times like these. Their professionalism in the face of an emergency is a role model for all of our students. Again, the top lines, all of our students across the school system are safe. All of our staff are safe. We have no reports of any structural damage to any of our school facilities, while many schools in fact felt some tremors from the earthquake. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chancellor. Next, we'll hear from Buildings Commissioner Jimmy Otto.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Let me say right at the outset that we at the Department of Buildings have not seen an influx of calls regarding building damage, but we want all New Yorkers to know that our team is ready. We are putting on additional construction and engineering professionals from this point on over the weekend. So if reports do come in, we will be ready to respond. Our construction enforcement unit is out doing inspections similar to what we do prior to big storms. There are 1.1 million buildings in the city, which means we need cooperation from construction professionals. We've messaged that to them, but let me take this opportunity again to remind all of our construction professionals, you need to go out and check on your buildings, even if those sites are closed, and determine that the sites are secure. And if you see any conditions that are troublesome, please reach out to the department. This is a time for that tried and true saying, if you see something, say something. So to New Yorkers, we at the Department of Buildings are concerned about some of the downstream possibilities, cracks that you might see that may materialize and manifest in a week or a month, or scaffolding, retaining walls. If you see something that is problematic, please call 311. This weekend, we will have an increase in our emergency response team. We've mobilized our borough operations and our special ops folks so that if our sister agency, the fire department, or any of our partners in government or the public report an increase in locations, we are at the ready to respond.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we'll hear from Con Ed President Matt Ketschke.
So thank you. So for our energy delivery system, energy infrastructure, there were no impacts from this event. We continue to monitor them. Our critical energy infrastructure is continuously monitored. During the course of the event, we saw no change in status for our energy infrastructure. We do have a series of protocols for after an earthquake event. We have initiated those. Those involve inspecting our critical facilities and working through all our facilities for inspection. Those inspections are ongoing. We haven't identified any issues. In the case of an earthquake, one of the things that from the energy side we would be concerned about is the potential for gas leaks. So I encourage, if you smell gas, either call 911 or 1-800-75-CON-ED and report the gas leak. Do not assume that somebody else has reported. So if you smell gas, call us or call 911 immediately. Otherwise, we'll continue our inspections and all looks good.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Next, we'll hear from MTA CEO Janno Lieber.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor Adams and Commissioner Iscol. I want to reassure New Yorkers that the service on the transit system, all aspects of the transit system, maintained continuously, operating safely throughout the incident, and has continued right to now. I've been in touch with the president of all the MTA agencies, starting with Bridges and Tunnels. Kathy Sheridan, the president of MTA Bridges and Tunnels, is here, but also New York City Transit, Long Island Railroad, and Metro North. Initial inspections of all the facilities have been completed, and there are initial further inspections ongoing, emphasizing that the 7 bridges operated by MTA have been inspected, and I want to emphasize those were designed to withstand much stronger seismic impacts than we experienced today. Our frontline staff across the system have been instructed to report any abnormalities. There have been none so far flagged. And of course, we're going to continue to monitor the situation very, very closely. We have an open communications bridge with all of our MTA agencies to report, as I said, any abnormality that they encounter. So far, the input on that has been 0. We're going to let riders know if there are any impacts to service, but there are none. Just as the Chancellor said, the school system is operating fully, so is the MTA transit system without disruptions caused by the earthquake. I want to thank Mayor Adams, your entire team, and also Governor Hochul, with whom I've been in touch, for their leadership throughout this challenging moment for the city and the region. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Finally, we'll hear from Manny Castro from the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs for a few words in Spanish.
Muy buenas tardes, soy Manuel Castro, el comisionado de Asuntos de los Inmigrantes de la Ciudad de Nueva York. Hoy estamos con el alcalde Eric Adams, los comisionados de varios departamentos de gobierno de la Ciudad de Nueva York para asegurar a los neoyorquinos que no estamos viendo ningún problema en nuestros servicios, ya sea de puentes, de escuelas y otros servicios críticos dentro de la Ciudad de Nueva York.
All right, we have been listening to a news conference there. We heard a moment ago from New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who essentially said that there were no reports of major impacts to infrastructure or injuries. We then heard from a number of other officials, including the school's chancellor, essentially saying the same thing. This was an event that was certainly felt across New York City, but there have been no reports of injury, the chancellor said, to the injury to staff or to students. Let's go ahead and turn now to our Errol Barnett in Brooklyn, New York. Errol, I was listening earlier to your own account of what it was like for you when you felt this. What else do we know about this earthquake so far?
Well, Elaine, I think it's interesting now that we've heard from the governor and the mayor that the immediate headline is there doesn't appear to be any major damage or major issues as it relates to transportation, schools, or people's safety. But this did just happen a few hours ago. And for me personally, here in Brooklyn, you know, my wife and I both felt this quake. And at a 4.8 magnitude, for me, I interpreted it as a large semi-truck maybe driving by our building. But for her, and I was moving around our place in our home office, she was in the living room seated in one position and was quite shocked and came to me and said, "What was that? That wasn't typical." She saw a lamp moving back and forth, which was her key, that this was unusual. Our cameraman mentioned to me that he felt it in his home, steps outside, and each of the neighbors are looking at each other saying, "Did you feel that? Did you feel that?" And everyone kind of felt this thing. So, you know, when you consider that this is the most densely populated part of the entire United States, with some, 20 million people in this New York City metro area, the epicenter is in northern New Jersey, a heck of a lot of people, Elaine, felt this quake and felt this movement. And I also just shared that, you know, when it comes to emergency vehicles and emergency crews and police sirens that you might hear in New York anyway, there doesn't appear to be that taking place. I'm at Brooklyn Bridge Park. This is a tourist attraction, of course, because of these views. And I see, you know, dozens of tourists going about their day taking pictures. But for those of us who felt it, it was jarring. We want to make sure that the hospital systems don't report any adverse issues as it relates to people being treated and going through special surgery. And you also want to spare a thought for neurodivergent people who might experience this thing, as some of us might giggle and say that was strange. It may have really unnerved and bothered others as well. But the immediate kind of headline is that things appear to be operating as normal, but a heck of a lot of people felt the earth move for a number of seconds this morning.
No, it's a really good point that you raise, Errol, that just the psychological impact, while there may not have been any sort of physical damage, or at least not yet any kind of reports of infrastructure damage or injuries, that for some people, this is certainly something that can evoke a lot of fear. And we heard the local officials a moment ago talk about that. We want to mention we're sort of monitoring that news conference. And when Mayor Adams begins to take some questions, we might jump right back to that. But one of the things, Errol, that we heard from local officials earlier is that there could be the potential for aftershocks. And they were instructing people, if that happens, folks should drop to the floor, cover their heads and their necks, take cover under a solid piece of furniture near a sturdy wall or doorway. I'm wondering, Errol, just in the neighborhood, in the surrounding area where you are right now, have you had a chance to talk to others yet? I know you've literally been on the phone, on the air with the stream since this started. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to talk to folks beyond just the crew and the folks in your immediate vicinity, though. What are people saying, if anything, about sort of how they're processing what just took place?
Well, Elaine, I can share with you our cameraman's wife was in a building in Staten Island that was evacuated when this quake happened. So, you know, it may be the case that a lot of places did move quickly to get out of buildings. And I think we heard an expert share the probability of aftershocks. I was looking at the USGS website, and it mentioned under the information for this quake. And also keep in mind, magnitudes can change from the preliminary report to what they then go back and fact check. But it shares the fact that there's somewhere between a 40% chance that in the next week, this region will experience a magnitude 3 or larger. Again, not a severe quake, but movement that people will notice. And a woman I was speaking with as I was rushing out of our building, the concierge, shared with me that, she saw pictures on the wall shake and she was wondering how long it would last. So this wasn't a brief quake. It lasted for a number of seconds, and even in the past few hours, I'm not sure if this is true of your phones, perhaps you're seeing this as well, but my phone continues to receive an alert, an emergency alert warning of aftershocks to come. And so we heard from the mayor, we heard from the governor. There's certainly an emergency posture and response that we've seen now for a few moments. But in the short sense, it does appear that things appear to be operating as normal. And we also saw at both Newark and LaGuardia, there were brief ground stoppages for aircraft. That may create a bit of a travel hiccup for anyone coming into or through New York City in the next few hours. Again, the most densely populated part of the United States experienced the ground move for a number of seconds this morning, and will continue to kind of measure the impact that may have in many areas.
All right, our Errol Barnett reporting for us from Brooklyn. Errol, thank you so much.